Good morning. I hope your week is going well. It's uh, Wednesday morning here, and we are, I guess it's Thursday. We are looking forward to the next couple days in, I am, because I've got a chance to talk to some people about Jesus. It's already on the calendar, it's on their schedule, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about biblical things. Earlier in the week, I had the chance to sit down and visit with a guy that's been reading his Bible, and he's very interested in Christianity. In fact, to the point where he has decided he wants to be a Christ follower. It reminded me a whole lot of what it must have been like for Philip talking to the Ethiopian treasurer who was reading Isaiah and longing for understanding, but he didn't have it. When Philip said, "Do you understand what you're reading?" He said, "How can I? Except somebody explains it to me." About 20 years ago, a guy named, I think it's Chris Long, wrote a song. And the premise of that song was it takes 15 times, or if it takes 15 times for someone to hear about Jesus before they believe, what if I'm 15? He says, I might be number 3, I might be number 7, but when I'm standing in line with someone or when I encounter someone, what if I'm 15 and I miss the opportunity to talk to them about Jesus? He says, I don't want to do that. Well, when the Apostle Paul wrote his letter to the church in Rome, he was saying, I was called by Christ himself to be the apostle to the Gentiles, to go where no one has gone before with the good news of Jesus Christ. The other apostles, they started in Jerusalem and went to Judea and Samaria. And then their message was carried from there. But the Apostle Paul was sent directly to these other people groups, these Gentiles. And he says here in chapter 15, and thus I aspired to preach the gospel, not where Christ was already named, so that I would not build on another man's foundation, but as it is written, they who had no news of him shall see, and they who have not heard shall understand. I think it's very exciting to listen to what the Apostle Paul was doing, to hear the enthusiasm that he had for the call that Christ placed upon him. Go and take this good news, this message of salvation to everyone. And I love that idea that those of us who've heard it and believed it and responded now can pick up that same commission and take the gospel as we are going along our day, as we are interacting with the people that are in our pathway or along our pathway. And we make disciples of those people. We say, look at this Jesus. Come and see. Come and listen to what he said. Come and look at what he did. And it's amazing how powerful the transformation is when they encounter the truth, either in word or in flesh. When they encounter the truth of God, whose name is Jesus, there's a transformation that happens in everyone who is searching for the truth. Now, I realize not everyone is searching for the truth, but everyone that is, and if they won't quit, they keep knocking and keep seeking, they will find it. They'll find him. And the delightful genius of God's plan is that he has commissioned you and me to join him in this partnership. There are things he will not do that he has given to us to do. And one of those things is to explain the gospel to someone else, to introduce them to Jesus. Angels don't do that. He's given that to us. It's an amazing privilege. And so, while the Apostle Paul's passion was to take the good news to those that had never heard before, our passion is certainly part of that. People that have never heard, to establish churches where there have never been churches. Some of us have a passion for translating the Word of God into languages that have never had it before. Others of us encounter people, even here in what we call the Bible Belt, people who have never seen an open Bible. They've heard about the Bible, but they've never read it or studied it for themselves. And I'm here to tell you, it loses something in the translation. If you only hear about the Bible and you don't read it for yourself, it's like the difference between night and day. When you read it for yourself, or listen to it for yourself, and study it for yourself, then the transformation happens. Then the light dawns. Then the darkness flees and things come into focus. So, while we appreciate Paul's passion for taking the good news to places where it had never been taken before, for establishing the church in places that had never heard of him before, today our passion needs to be take the gospel to everyone that we encounter, whether they've heard it before. You might be number 3 or number 7 or 15. What if I'm 15? I love that song. And it's, like I said, it's 20, maybe even older than that, 20 years old. But the message is there. Why would I miss a chance to talk about Jesus? He's the best thing that's ever happened to me. He is the light of our life. He is the hope of our salvation. He is the confidence. He is our righteousness. He is our resurrection. He is our everything. Let's talk about him. God bless you. He loves you, and he's proven that through Jesus Christ. And we love you too.